So this is the 2020 Ford Ranger Lariat. It's a 4x4, and this is the SuperCrew cab model. So it's got a shorter bed, but a bigger back seat. Let's jump in right away by taking it for a spin. I'm in a parking lot right now. Let's do a couple things together. Let's do slow speed handling. Let's do some high speed handling, and let's test out acceleration together. So first, slow speed handling. I'm just tooling around a parking lot. What I've noticed driving this thing around for a while is that it's a little slow. It's not quite as responsive as I've experienced with some of the other Ford pickup trucks. So when you do turn that steering wheel, it takes a little bit of time for the car, I should say the truck, to swing around and meet where you want to go. It's not bad, but it's definitely noticeable. So I have found that parking in tight parking spots has been a bit of a challenge. I don't know, if you have more experience driving a truck like this, you'll probably be fine. What I am impressed with, though, is handling at higher speeds. So let's get out of this parking lot, get out on the street, and let's get up to about 40, 45, and go around some nice gentle curves so I can show you how this thing handles. So at this speed, when I'm going around a curve like this, I do feel like the truck is tipping a little bit, and it's sort of pulling out of the curve. So it's not like driving a sedan where you really feel like you can accelerate through these curves, but I don't feel like I'm gonna slip. So I do feel pretty comfortable, but I don't know if I want to go a little bit more than 40, 45 around these corners. Let me pull a U-turn and see what the steering turning radius is like. All right, so we drifted a little bit out of the lane, but we were able to make that U-turn pretty easily. Let's do a couple more curves together, and then let's play around with acceleration. I just don't feel super comfortable at this speed, hugging these corners. But that's probably to be expected for a pickup truck. Now you do have 270 horsepower on this one, so acceleration it's decent. So let me show you what it's like from a dead stop first. Ooh, we drifted out of the lane a little bit. All right, despite it being in the middle of the road, dead stop, and let's slam on that accelerator. So it sounds nice. It does take a while, though, for the engine to sort of react to what you want it to do. And by that I mean when we are moving. So right now we're at about 40, and you slam on that accelerator like I just did, it's almost a 2 to 3 second delay before the car actually reacts. Car, truck, you get what I mean. So although acceleration is good for a pickup, it's not good overall. Let's do one more U-turn. See if I can make it without drifting out. Nope, not that time either. So it moves, but you can definitely hear that 10-speed automatic transmission shifting through those gears pretty heavily. It's not quite as smooth a ride as I was expecting. Let's do one more acceleration from a dead stop. This is a nice straightaway right here. Let's check the rear view. No one's behind us. All right. Ready? Here we go. Ah, sounds nice. There is that little bit of a delay though. It's like I hit the accelerator, we start moving forward, and then after about a second and a half, then it just like really kicks in and gives you a heavy punch, which is, I don't know, it's fun, but not quite what I was expecting from this vehicle. All right, so let's stop and let's take a look at the engine together real quick. Keep it on. It's 270 horsepower, decent gas mileage, 20 in the city, 24 on the highway. Performs pretty well. And then you always get Ford's easy fuel capless technology, which I really do like. Just not having that twist-off cap. It seems like a small thing, but it's actually it's really nice, especially when you're filling up quite often. While we're back here, let's take a look at the bed. I think it's actually locked, so I'm going to take the key fob and take out the key. Unlock it. Smaller bed, only a 5-foot box on this one because of the extended cab, but they have a nice liner on here. Pretty rugged too. A little bit of wheel well infringement, but still a big open space to haul things, and then spots for hooks on the corners. Let's play around with the back a little bit. Yeah, that feels solid. It's 270 horsepower with Ford's, I think it's a 2.3 liter EcoBoost. Yes, a 2.3 EcoBoost engine, electronic 10-speed automatic. Could look a truck too. One thing I do like, you see the cutout right there on the side? Kind of an indentation. It gives the Ranger a nice new look, not quite as boxy as it used to be. And I said this is the SuperCrew. You could tell because the second door is just the same size as the front, right? It's not the smaller one. Let's jump in the back real quick. I have some of my gear in here, but that's okay. So I'm 6 feet tall and I fit back here. I'm having to sit quite upright, but my head is not brushing up against the roof, which is wonderful. That happens in quite a few pickups. And I got about an inch or so between my knees and the back of that seat. So I'm fairly comfortable. And I had pushed back this driver's seat a considerable distance, almost all the way, just to get a good shot with the camera. So this is pretty good. Pockets on the back of the seats, 2 USB ports, along with a power port. Look at that, 3-pronged power port. I absolutely love these because you don't have to carry around an adapter. And then a small storage space right here. Let me move some of my gear out of the way. It's my daughter's birthday, so I got a tiara in the car for her. You know, all in all, a comfortable back area. Let's open up the back window. So let's fold down the rear seats. It's pretty easy. You just pull up on this little tab right here. I would note that this tab is not located on the other side. I thought that was strange. So you do have to kind of access it on the passenger side of the vehicle, but you just give it a light pull up and the whole thing folds forward. I have had trouble because even though I don't push those seats back all the way, I mean, the thing won't fold down unless you actually go in the front of the car, front of the truck, excuse me, and push that seat forward. And even then, the seat doesn't collapse all the way down flat. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to use the electronic controls to push that seat forward. And then let's open up the other door. See, even though we have clearance right here, it doesn't go down all the way. I don't know why, but I was hoping this thing would lay completely flat just so I could use it to store and haul some stuff. But really, all it is about giving you access to this little back storage space. You can see the jack right there, and then the funnel for fuel. So, I don't know, a little bit disappointing. Good steering wheel setup, directional keypads up here to interact with the two screens in the gauge cluster, cruise controls, and then controls to interact with the entertainment features. Mirror controls are tucked up here on the dash, kind of hard to see. Only worth mentioning because you do get a button that will collapse the side view mirrors in on themselves. It's always helpful with a truck like this because sometimes space is tight. Dial to adjust the headlights, standard controls down here for the windows, door locks. Up top we do have a sunglass holder, simple lights to illuminate the cabin, pretty easy rear view mirror. Easy meaning no buttons of any kind, no toggle switches, just an automatic dimmer feature. Below there, a small storage cutout, perfect for a cell phone. And then we get into the interesting stuff. This is the full touchscreen. Why did I say full? I don't know. Alright, so here's the touchscreen. No buttons of any kind on either side, dedicated menu buttons along the bottom, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay connectivity. I think that's on the settings screen. Let me show you real quick. Yeah, there's Apple CarPlay, and there is Android Auto. I don't know, not a lot of exciting stuff here. A couple things worth noting is that you do see what temperature the vehicle is set at up here, and then if you look back into the gauge cluster down here, you can see the outside temperature and the time in this screen. I like the dedicated menu buttons on the bottom, makes it really easy to navigate through everything. I mostly find myself using the climate screen, the nav screen, and then probably the audio screen to listen to the radio. That's about it. The app screen, you can download some stuff, but I don't have anything loaded on this vehicle right now. But all in all, pretty simple setup, not that exciting, but navigation does work pretty well, and it's got a nice size screen, so not much to complain about. Below there you have the climate controls, dials to adjust the volume and tuner on the radio, and then a hazard button right in the middle. Below there, let me move the gear shift out of the way. 2 power ports, storage cutout down below there with 2 USB ports, and then you have your controls for 4-wheel drive, towing, all that's good stuff right here. Gear shift, 2 nice size cup holders, handle, parking brake. I love that. One thing I didn't mention when I was talking about the screen is the rear view camera. So let me shift it into reverse. You'll see that you get a nice wide view behind the vehicle along with guides to show you where you're going. And when you do turn the steering wheel, you get a gray guide that moves. Can you see it right there? Showing you where the vehicle is going to go. Now, it's not that useful on a vehicle that you drive every day because you get pretty comfortable reversing. But for someone like me that doesn't drive a lot of pickups, this is really, really helpful. You can also zoom in a little bit to see directly behind the vehicle, and then you get the vehicle itself up here in the upper right-hand corner with some grayed areas in the front and back, and those will illuminate if you get too close to an object, either pulling forward or reversing, and it'll beep at you just to let you know that you're getting close to hitting something. So all in all, really happy with this whole setup. And then a small armrest right here with a storage space down below. No USB ports or anything down there, just a simple storage space. And you got a glove box, which I know isn't thrilling, but I always like to look at. Decent size, plenty of space here to hold all the materials that you need. Alright, last thing I want to talk about is cabin noise. It's important to me because I listen to a lot of audiobooks, podcasts, stuff like that. So if the car is really noisy, especially at higher speeds, that means I got to crank up the volume, and I missed my turn. And I just find that annoying. I don't see any reason why you can't have a quiet vehicle at any price point. But for a pickup truck that's pushing $35,000, I'm expecting some pretty decent soundproofing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the radio.
Heaven, or this is the color which
Set a low-ish volume. Doesn't really matter what's being said over the radio. I'm just gonna be quiet for a second, and let's see if you can make out those words pretty distinctly.
And all this went through my mind in 4 or 5 seconds, and then the blob disappeared, giving me a strong sense of loss and heartbrokenness. And I was haunted a little bit when I came down, wondering whether indigo.
All right, let's go a little faster.
In the real world, and I would turn over little stones. I once went to a museum to look at azurite.
No, it's not bad.
A copper mineral,
Even though this guy has a pretty thick accent, I can make out the words that he's saying. And although I do hear a little bit of wind moving through the cabin, it's bearable. Let me turn that off. I don't want to listen to that guy anymore. So cabin noise is a big plus. I'm impressed. Nice job, Ford. Alright, so that is pretty much everything end to end on the 2020 Ford Ranger Lariat 4x4 SuperCrew cab. I think that's the full title. I've really enjoyed this. Spending almost the entire day tooling around town in this pickup truck, and you know, I'm not a truck guy. I tend to drive smaller vehicles just because I've been living in the city quite a bit, and that's what's been practical. But I gotta say, I'm kind of sold on the Ford Ranger. I like this car quite a bit. I love that the back seat is actually usable for adults. I love that there's a bed back there so that I can haul around larger items. And driving this thing is actually, you know, the longer I've been in it, the more comfortable I feel. Now, it doesn't feel like a sedan, but it shouldn't, right? I guess my only criticism when it comes to drivability is I don't feel super comfortable going around corners at higher speeds, but I bet that's something I could get used to over time. So anyway, after that long-winded explanation, I think I'm going to give this one 4 stars. Look, there is a ton to love about this pickup truck. I'm not even a truck guy, and I'm going to be sad that I have to return this one later tonight. My only major criticism, and the reason I'm not giving it 5 stars, is that back seat could be a little more useful. I mean, even something like the Honda Fit has a back seat that can be manipulated and folded in several ways so that you can store stuff back there, and with a pickup truck, that's what I want. So Ford, if you'll fix that, I will definitely change my rating to 5 stars, because beyond the back seat, I really don't think there's so much to improve on this pickup truck. Anyway, that's just my opinion. If you disagree, please leave me a comment below. I always love hearing from you, especially if you think I made a mistake. Criticism is always welcome. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you join me next time when I'm back renting another rental car. I'll see you then.